Coming up on Mountain News this morning, some Kentuckians will be assigned a new area code soon. And folks came together to celebrate a new retail site in Hazard.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday to you, Mountain family. I'm Amelia Lee here with you on this August 20th, and it is just about 5 o'clock this morning. That means it is time to check on in with meteorologist Megan Dusmal for a look at that forecast. Still hot, Megan, but it was 90s yesterday. I'm hoping for a gradual decline in temperatures.
Yes, and I have that good news for you. We're starting to see temperatures go down just a little bit, and that's due to the rain that we'll be looking at throughout your Wednesday. So let's start off this morning with that live pinpoint Doppler radar. All is clear in eastern Kentucky, but you'll notice as you're approaching Danville, this little storm system, which is making its way to our region. We could see some impacts as you're traveling into Rockcastle County, Pulaski County, but we'll keep our eyes on it and see how it moves throughout the next couple of hours. But in terms of those temperatures, not seeing much of a difference this morning. Still a mixture of the upper 60s and low 70s. But this afternoon, we will not be seeing the low to mid 90s. Instead, we're looking at the mid to upper 80s. However, big caveat here. With the rain, the humidity will be higher, so those feels like temperatures today will be similar to what we saw yesterday. But we'll continue to have those temperatures cooling down into the next couple of days, and by next week we're looking at chances for 70s. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Here's what we're seeing through the next couple hours. High temperatures for the day will be around 3 p.m. because the rain will pick up and start to cool us down heading into the later evening hours. Amelia.
The person responsible for shooting and injuring 2 people on a Kentucky college campus are still on the run. The shooting happened early Sunday morning at Kentucky State University in Frankfort. University leaders say they're taking extra steps and heightening security to keep their students safe. Well, a drug trafficking investigation led authorities to a home where they not only found drugs, but also a torture chamber. Laurel County deputies searched the home of Scotty Shelton last week after smelling a strong odor similar to a decaying body. They found a rotting deer carcass and multiple other animal caps and skulls. They also found a room resembling a torture chamber with handcuffs, rope, and other devices. After his arrest, Shelton told investigators that he had recently recovered drugs that he'd buried in his garage years ago. Investigators then recovered about 6,000 oxycodone-like pills and 1,200 grams of meth. Shelton is charged with possession with intent to sell. In Knox County, a Corbin man is behind bars after deputies responded to a domestic disturbance. Deputies say 40-year-old Chad Rosie refused to identify himself and became aggressive with Deputy Thomas Martin. After a brief struggle, Posey was arrested. He's charged with menacing and resisting arrest and was also wanted on multiple bench warrants in both Knox and Laurel counties. Posey was taken to the Knox County Detention Center. With Hurricane Aaron making its way through the Atlantic, communities along the East Coast are preparing for harsh waves, high water, and potentially deadly rip currents. The storm is forecasted to pass well offshore, but visitors to the Outer Banks have been evacuating, with the potential for high water to wash over the only road out.
Going to create some very dangerous ocean conditions along the entire U.S. East Coast and the potential for life-threatening storm surge inundation across portions of the North Carolina Outer Banks.
We have plenty of supplies, and not our first rodeo. Definitely prepared.
Several beaches in New York and New Jersey are closed to swimming through Thursday. Well, Kentucky's been officially assigned a new area code. The 761 prefix will start being doled out when the 502 area code runs out, likely in mid-2027. Everyone who currently has a 502 number will keep it. The Public Service Commission held a series of public meetings to get input and host discussions. The North American Numbering Plan estimates that North Central Kentucky will have enough numbers for at least 30 years. The real impact is that the 502 and 761 area codes will have mandatory 10-digit dialing. Well, a groundbreaking ceremony was hosted yesterday afternoon for new retail development in Hazard. A portion of the Black Gold Plaza shopping center was recently torn down. New stores going in will include Hobby Lobby, TJ Maxx, Five Below, and Dollar Tree. Construction is already underway and is expected to be finished by next summer. A special guest at the groundbreaking was 105-year-old Roy Drinkard, the CEO of Drinkard Development. He first started building shopping centers and hazards in the 1980s. The latest consumer price index shows grocery prices in July rose 2.2% compared to last year. As CBS's Lisa Rosner reports, the rising cost of food is driving an affordability crisis, forcing families to make tough choices just to put essentials like milk, bread, and eggs on the table.
Sandra Cora is food shopping for her mom, who lives on a fixed income.
She can barely afford half of this stuff. Like, do you pay your rent or do you buy food?
Everyday staples saw significant cost increases in the last year. Coffee up nearly 15%, ground beef up just over 11%. Egg prices hit by avian flu are falling, but still up more than 16%.
My budget has become double for food shopping.
Food prices behave in a way that I describe as rockets and feathers.
Ricky Volpe is a professor of agribusiness at California Polytechnic State University.
Food prices rise quickly as a result of upstream costs, but they come down slowly, if at all.
He says tariffs on aluminum and steel implemented in March are impacting the price of groceries now. They're showing up in higher costs for canned foods and beverages, but in less obvious ways too.
Steel is absolutely essential to food manufacturing, processing, storing, and transportation.
One bright spot about U.S. food supply, only about 10% of grocery store food is imported and now subject to further tariffs. Avi Kaner is co-owner of Morton Williams Supermarkets.
Consumers in the United States have a choice. They don't necessarily need to buy that sauce from Italy. They can buy the sauce that's made in the good old United States.
Experts say there are ways consumers can save on grocery costs, like buying meat in bulk and freezing it, as well as sticking to store brands instead of name brands.
Shoppers can also opt for whole items. Stores charge to cube watermelon and shred cheese. Shelf-stable foods can also keep overall costs down as inflation ticks up. Lisa Rosner, CBS News, New York.
Well, President Donald Trump is drawing a red line when it comes to security guarantees for Ukraine, saying no American troops will be on the ground. This comes as the White House says there are developments in President Trump's efforts to set up a meeting between the leaders of Russia and Ukraine as part of the push to end the war. CBS News has confirmed Budapest, Hungary is among the cities being considered for what could be a historic meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
I had a very successful meeting with President Putin. I had a very successful meeting with President Zelensky, and now I thought it would be better if they met without me.
The president wants to move, and he wants to bring this war to an end as quickly as possible.
Ukraine's President Zelensky says a strong Ukrainian military is the first line of defense when it comes to security guarantees. A White House official tells CBS News that European leaders hope to have concrete details for a plan in the next 10 days. Well, the Kentucky State Capitol will officially close today. It marks the start of the construction phase for the $291 million Capitol renovation project. State leaders have already moved out of the Capitol to temporary offices, and legislative leaders have been told they may have to hold the next 3 legislative sessions in the House and Senate's temporary building. Well, thanks so much for getting your day started with us on Mountain News this morning at 5:08. A Kentucky law professor created a website opposing Israel's existence. We have the details on this situation.
And those hot temperatures end today. A cooler trend sets in for the later half of the week.